Some people are born with a very warm energy within them. They do not need to say too much. They do not need to do anything grand. They do not need to try to become special. Just by being present, they make others feel a little lighter. They know how to listen. They know how to care. They notice the small things. They feel pain when they see others in pain. They feel joy when they see others at peace. Maybe you are one of those people, a sincere person, a warm person, a person with a soft heart, someone who is easily moved by another person's sadness, someone who always wants to offer kindness, even when they themselves are tired. But life, if you are not careful, can slowly turn a warm heart into a guarded one. You were once sincere, but someone took advantage of that sincerity. You once loved deeply, but someone treated that love as something ordinary. You were once generous, but someone only knew how to receive without knowing how to cherish. You once opened your heart, but someone stepped into it only to wound you. And after many moments like that, you begin to close yourself off. You no longer dare to show affection the way you used to. You no longer dare to speak openly about how much you care. You no longer dare to trust people too quickly. You no longer dare to live honestly with the softest part of yourself. You fear that if you are too kind, you will be used. You fear that if you are too warm, others will make you cold. You fear that if you are too sincere, you will be taken for granted. You fear that if you love too deeply, you will be hurt once again. But remember this. Do not let people who do not know how to value you make you ashamed of your kindness. Do not let a few painful relationships make you believe that your warm heart is wrong. Do not turn yourself into a cold person just because you have been hurt, when deep down, your nature has always been gentle. Your sincerity is not a weakness. Your warmth is not something you need to hide. Your loving heart is not something you need to apologize for. What you need to learn is not how to become colder. It is how to become wiser. Still warm, but with boundaries. Still loving, but without losing yourself. Still kind, but not allowing your kindness to become a place where others step over you. Still open-hearted, but not opening the door to everyone. There is a very big difference between having a warm heart and having no boundaries. A warm-hearted person knows how to give, but they also know when to stop. A person without boundaries keeps giving until they are empty, then wonders why they are always exhausted. A warm-hearted person knows how to love others, but they do not abandon themselves. A person without boundaries always puts others first, until they no longer have a place in their own life. So if you are a sincere person, continue to be sincere, but do not be naive. If you are a warm person, continue to be warm, but do not let anyone turn your warmth into something they only come to when they need to be comforted, then leave when you need a hand. You have the right to love, but you also have the right to choose who is worthy of receiving that love. You have the right to care, but you also have the right to stop pouring your energy into places that only know how to drain you. You have the right to live softly, but you also have the right to protect your heart from rough hands. Someone who truly loves you will not be afraid of your freedom. They will not need you to become smaller so they can feel important. They will not need you to become dependent so they can feel secure. They will not keep you through fear. They will walk beside you with respect. And if someone can only stay when you lose your freedom, then perhaps what they love is not your true self. Perhaps what they love is the version of you that is easier to control. Some departures hurt deeply at first, but later, when you look back, you will understand that it was the first time you opened a door for your soul to breathe. Some relationships, when they end, make you think you have lost someone, but in truth, you are finding yourself again, finding your peace again, finding your voice again, finding your ability to choose again, finding the sky within you that had been narrowed for far too long. Do not be afraid to let go of a relationship that feels like a chain. Be more afraid of spending many more years in a place where you can no longer recognize yourself. And when you are no longer so tightly bound by emotions, something very precious begins to return: your creative freedom. A person who has been hurt for too long often has very little energy left to create. They are only busy trying not to be abandoned, trying not to disappoint anyone, trying not to be judged, trying to hold together what is already breaking. Their mind has no space for new dreams. Their heart has no room for new ideas. They are tired from living in defense. But when you begin to set yourself free, your energy comes back. You may want to write, to draw, to learn, to do something new, to walk a different path, to create something that carries your own mark. Creative freedom is not only about art. It is the right to live differently, the right to think differently, the right to choose how you build your life without always asking, what will other people think? Maybe you do not need to become an artist, but you do need to become someone who is allowed to create their own life, to create a rhythm that suits you, to create work that feels meaningful to you, to create relationships where you can breathe, to create a mental space where you no longer have to pretend to be someone else. The greatest act of creation in a human life is not a painting, a song, or any work of art. The greatest act of creation is creating a life that does not betray your soul. A life where you can still be sincere, still warm, still loving, but no longer lose your freedom, no longer live to please everyone, no longer lock yourself inside old definitions. In the end, the way you look at the world will decide so much about how the world appears inside your heart. When you look at the world as if you were admiring a flower, you will notice its fragrance, its beauty, its fragility. You will see that even small things are worth cherishing. You will see that an ordinary morning can still be beautiful. A cup of tea can still comfort the heart. A simple message of care can still bring warmth. A kind person can still remind you that this life is still worthy of trust. But if you look at the world as if you were looking at a cactus, you will see only thorns. You will see defense. You will see wounds. You will feel that anyone who comes close could hurt you. You will feel that life is full of things you must guard yourself against. The truth is, flowers can wither too, and cacti can also bloom. Life is not completely gentle, but it is not completely sharp either. What matters is the eyes you choose to see it with. If you always look through your wounds, you will see danger everywhere. If you always look through fear, you will believe anyone could betray you. If you always look through the past, you will cover new things with old darkness. But if you look with awareness, you will know how to tell the difference. You will know who is worth coming close to, who should be kept at a distance, what deserves an open heart, what needs to be protected. You will know where the flowers are and where the thorns are. Wisdom is not looking at life with suspicion. Wisdom is looking at life with an open heart and clear eyes, not so naive that you let everyone in, but not so closed that you reject everything beautiful. You have the right to choose. Choose to keep believing in kindness, but do not ignore the signs of danger. Choose to keep loving, but do not let anyone take away your peace. Choose to stay warm, but do not burn yourself out to warm people who only know how to receive. Choose to look at the world as if it were a flower. But remember, when necessary, you also have the right to keep your thorns to protect yourself. Be sincere, but do not be blind. Be warm, but do not let yourself become empty. Love deeply, but do not forget your self-respect. Be free, but do not lose direction. Be independent, but do not close your heart. Be creative, but do not lose the stillness within. You do not need to become someone else in order to be loved. You only need to return to the most beautiful part within yourself and learn how to protect it with wisdom. Because this world still needs sincere people. It still needs warm people. It still needs people who know how to love without turning love into dependence. It still needs people who know how to be soft without being weak. It still needs people who can see the flowers in life, but are wise enough not to hold thorns against their own heart. From today on, allow the loving energy within you to spread, not to please everyone, but to remind yourself that even after being hurt, you have not lost your ability to live beautifully. Set yourself free from relationships that bind you. Learn to stand firmly within your own emotions. Create a life with colors of your own. And remember, the world is not only what happens to you. The world is also how you choose to see it. If you look through pain, everything becomes a thorn. If you look through love and awareness, then even in difficult days, you can still see a flower blooming. If these words touched your heart, save this video and return to it whenever you need a gentle reminder. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next videos.